Hey guys. Hello. Getting started here. Get all the things updated. All right. All right. Now we've got everything updated. 15 seconds in. Ta-da! Hello. Hi. Welcome back to the Greenville GAB. I should probably talk into a microphone. Anyways, I was just saying to Michael, I was like, man, today has kicked my butt. It has been quite the second day, right? Only second day of the year. And I've got to say that today has been the Mondayest Thursday that I've had in a really long time. But we've got a couple really cool things coming, and we're going to talk about the real estate market, of course. Always love to do that. And I've got a couple fun things to bring to your attention tonight. Been coming up with ideas of how can we bring the most value to you in this show, but at the same time, want to always bring you fun information or good information if you are either living here locally and you just want to get to know the area better, or maybe you're just interested in what we have to say, or we pay attention to the developments that are coming up. And at the same time, sometimes you guys just have questions, and I love to answer those live. So what I'm going to be doing tonight is periodically throughout tonight's show, I will be putting up this fun little QR code. Let's see here if I can point to it right here. Over here. So if you scan this code here, it's going to take you to a sheet that is just a Google form, and you can drop questions there. If you don't want to answer tonight, or if you want a more in-depth answer, would love to give that to you in the form of an email or anything like that. But I will be popping this QR code up on and off throughout the night. I don't want to keep it up the entire time. At the same time, would love to answer all of your questions live in the comments. We are monitoring those. So yeah, hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas and Happy New Year, because wow, it's 2025. I remember thinking, wow, 2025 will never get here. And here we are. And maybe I feel a little bit old. I don't know. So anyways, do me a favor. If you are just now joining us, we start the night out by some of this talking about the day. And then at the same time, I'd love to know where you're watching from. So if you are here locally, would love to know kind of the town that you're watching from. If you are not here locally, follow John's example in the comments from New Jersey. And it's always fun to see where a community is watching from, and know that, hey, honestly, this past year, I hope 4 different people moved from Buffalo, New York here to the upstate, and none of them knew each other, but they all were moving for very similar reasons. At the same time too, we have people that maybe are moving for jobs, or they are retiring, or anything like that, or I don't know. We just kind of talk about what's going on around. So it's always fun. So let me know where you are watching from. That is just a fun community thing that we do. And yeah, it's good. So got a lot of fun things to chat about tonight, but kind of going to come over here. Hey, Todd, how's it going? Still wearing shorts in Arizona. That is so unfortunate. We're going to talk about this tonight, actually, a little bit later, because we have record-breaking temperatures that are supposed to be happening next week. So I've got a whole plan in place around this, but it doesn't happen very often. And I'll let you know my thoughts or anything like that about it. But it is going to get cold here in the South. And January is usually the coldest month, but when I say it's going to get cold, they've been talking about it for 2 weeks already, and I'm pretty interested. Yes, Erica, you are right. It is freezing, and the wind started picking up today. Everything. It was a whole thing. Exciting to see finally some colder temperatures. But all right, so let's talk about the real estate market. Okay. I started off tonight saying it was the most Mondayest Thursday I've had in a while. And golly, I've had hard conversations all week. So at the end of the year and beginning of the year, a lot of listings expire and we have to extend some listings. Well, to be completely honest with you, I've been racking my brain going, okay, why aren't some of our listings selling? Why are they sitting on the market for so long? This makes no sense. And to be completely honest with you, like I follow the numbers as closely as I possibly can. And I have been waiting for this report to come out for the last 2 weeks because it's so important to kind of follow the trends, follow the real estate market. So hold on to your horses because I've got a number. If you guys have been following for any amount of time, I've got a number that is so drastically different. And I'm just like, holy crap, this is why, we have more inventory sitting on the market. So let's see here. Let's come over to this one. Okay. So this is our just monthly numbers, year over year, historical stats. And I want you to look at something here. Average days on market is going up very, very much. And then at the same time too, we have units up 16%, volume, which means higher price points, is up 19%. Average price though has come down. We have more inventory. So what ends up happening is average price, median price will end up going down as we have more inventory hitting the market. When we have more inventory hitting the market, that means that there is more competition out there and we've got to adjust pricing in order to get the house sold. So this has been super interesting to watch. And I want you to see this as well. So as of November, so in the month of October, nobody bought or sold houses around here. Very, very few people bought or sold houses. We were still recouping from the hurricane. Half the people in the upstate didn't have power for a full 2 weeks. And it just slowed us all down. So we saw a resurgence in November. And this is what we saw. We saw some pent-up demand for units, for houses that were not on the market yet. Maybe they were waiting or clearing some trees, waiting to get power back on correctly, all sorts of things, maybe some repairs around their properties. But this is pretty significant, y'all. We have seen a significant increase in houses on the market. And then we have not seen a significant increase in pricing. Now, it is still doing its normal thing. Like the Greenville market historically appreciates 3 to 4% year over year without a problem. And we follow that on a pretty regular basis. And sorry, I'm going like realtor speak on you and talking percentages and all that. At the same time, I'm watching this and we have sold more houses this year than we did last year. And you can even see down here, like we are starting to inch back up to those 2020, 2021, 2022 numbers of homes that were active on the market. So very, very interesting to see and interesting to talk about. Right now is kind of the calm before the storm. I tell people this every year. The spring market, housing market starts here in the upstate about the last week of January. It's the middle of winter. You can't say this. Well, yeah, the spring market starts the last week of January. So for people that are looking to buy houses and they're going, oh, we're going to wait till springtime or we're going to wait till summertime. Okay, that's going to be one of the most hectic times of the year. And we've got showing graphs. Let me pull this over here. And I talked about this a little bit at the last live stream that we did. Just looking at showing traffic, which I think is always so neat to look at. So let's go over here. Now we're going to pull up the showing stats. So this is showing stats for the entire state of South Carolina. And we are looking at, okay, like What's happening? Well, here's the thing. Here's the end of the year. Everything drops off the face of the planet. So if you're like, I put my house on the market in September, October, and it didn't sell, or it's taking longer. Well, look, I mean, everything dropped off the face of the planet here. Showings decreased. You're competing with uh, um, the holidays. We competed with the election this year. Everything, and interest rates are a little bit higher. So yeah, we've got people that have slowed down. Now, when you go back over here though, and the line starts back at 0, look what happens from the 31st to the beginning of the year. Everything goes up. And that is one of those, and again, metrics, you need to be working with a realtor who follows these things. And I will say this, I worked with somebody I worked with them since August. And today they told me that I don't basically they don't trust me on all of this stuff. So very interesting conversation. I digress. So we know that showing traffic is going to be going up pretty considerably as we head throughout the rest of January. And this is where I say this is the very beginning of the spring market. I'm going to pull this up one more time. So you see this right here, it just goes up and then it continues to go up throughout the springtime. So this is the slowest time that we will have until probably the end of May, so Mother's Day. This is the slowest that we will be until Mother's Day. So take that as you will. For those of you that are looking to buy and sell houses, don't wait to put your house on the market. Go ahead and get it done. Don't wait to pull the trigger on buying the house. There's going to be more people. I had 3 different reach outs today within a hour and a half window. Just people going, hey, we've looked in the area. Hey, we've thought about, buying the house in the upstate. Hey, we've watched all these videos and done our research and we're coming next week. It's happening. And so it's encouraging. I'm encouraged. I like talking real estate things. It's probably a little boring for you, some of you guys, but I know that some of my largest investments are in real estate. So I follow it. I watch it. I'm going to be asking our lender partner or one of our lender partners, Brian McIntosh, to come back on the show probably here in the next couple of weeks, just to talk about the new year and what to plan and how to plan your strategy as far as buying and selling real estate. So yeah, all those things to watch out for. Let's see here. And then I also wanted to let you guys know that if you have specific questions about real estate or neighborhoods or something like that, I decided to pull up the MLS for you guys tonight. So we will be using the map directly from the MLS and looking at properties that are specifically in the multiple listing service and using this tool tonight as our behind the scenes and being able to look things up for you guys. So answer your questions. That's what we do here. And our new thing tonight is this QR code that will take you to a form. Feel free to put your questions in there. I will not probably look at this until the end of the night. So I'll answer those questions at our next live stream. But if it's something that you're like, hey, I want to know this right now, please put your question in the comments. I monitor those and would love to answer that live here as quickly as possible. So we'll do that. All right. So speaking of comments, let's kind of roll back over here to the comments and see what else we got going on. Hey, Paul from Chicago, how's it going? And then John coming in with a question. I'm coming back to it. And then hello from New Jersey. Love that. It is probably really cold by you too now. All right. So what question do we have here? Gotcha. Okay. So how is Hendersonville in respect to finding 1 to 3 acres to build on? And what are the top areas for land to build on? John, you always have the best questions. So That is a great question. I will tell you right now that I would have to work with my North Carolina partner. I am in process of getting a North Carolina license, just to tell you. And I do know the area, but I can't help you buy land there, unfortunately. So I will say this. I do know that prices go up when you go from South Carolina to North Carolina. Taxes are done differently, and their properties, their average price for everything is just a little bit higher than what it is just over the border, the North Carolina, South Carolina border. Now, as far as acreage to build on, I think it really depends on what you're looking for. If you want to be near water or if you want to be relatively close to things like less than 30 minutes, then you will end up paying a premium for land. At the same time, let's do this. John, put in the comments for me and I'll come back to you. If you're looking for land, and I probably have notes on you at this point, but I'm going to create a land search right now. And yeah, Hendersonville is right there on the ledge. It is North Carolina territory. So here's the deal though. I'm going to do this specific for land for you. If you would, put your price range in the comments for me. And let's just play a little bit. I've got things to talk about tonight. I promise you it's kind of fun. But we've got a question here at the moment. Let's see what we've got. So let's see here. We are looking for 1 to 3 acres. And let's see here. Look. Oh, hey, look. The entire world. It's been doing that a lot lately. So again, this is just your behind the scenes part. Like I do this for clients all the time. And John, what's your price range for land? So let's do this. So all of those blue dots that you are seeing, these are active for sale property. So like if you want mountain views, I would recommend, I'm going to draw you a box here. If you want mountain views, you are talking about this area right here. Up through Boiling Springs, Campobello, Landrum. Now, this gets you pretty far out if you go in the Cleveland, Marietta, Punkintown, Sunset areas. But if you're not opposed to being a little bit further out, it's not bad. Okay, and would like to be around 100,000. Gotcha. So I'm going to put you in a search up to, let's say 125, because there's normally some negotiation room, and a low price of 50. Cool. I didn't take many off. So again, this is what we're doing for our clients at Whatnot. So right now I've got 46 different properties, just land, and there's different HOAs and there's different things that are involved, but here you can see it's all within that area. I would say, let's see here, the area that has the most for sale is Landrum. So Landrum at the map, and I agree with you, lowest price possible is a good thing. So again, if we're looking at Landrum and we're looking at, and going back to like possibly one of the better areas, and it's going to be north, you could probably find something for under 100 easy, between $50,000 to $90,000 for land. And I love Landrum. Landrum is a beautiful area. And it's not too terribly far out from things either. So is Campobello. There's a lot of development happening in the Campobello area. So those two places are probably my favorites if you're looking for those mountain views. And I think we can find something within that price range pretty easily. And being a little bit farther out. But yeah, those numbers, that's what is here. So whenever you're ready, let's go. Okay. So with that, I do want to chat through, we're going to kind of go through the start to finish. Okay. Because I know a lot of people, a lot of you guys that are watching the stream come back and you watch the replay. You're saying, hey, Aubree, what happens? How does all of this work? And that right there is, I just get a lot of questions. So let's start with this. I found this really cool article about GSP, which is the Greenville Spartanburg Airport. And for you guys that don't know what our airport is called. So this is just a little bit, this article was written back for the GVL today. It is written by Ashley Hearn, Jocelyn, and Danielle. And I thought that this was really good. It's talking about GSP and what you need to know. And because a lot of you guys are flying in and just, I get questions. I was sitting in a coffee shop 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and heard some guys in there just talking about which way was best to drive to get back to the airport. They were here visiting from out of town and deciding if one of the guys wanted to move here. So with that, TSA on average takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get through. I think this is pretty normal, and I can't say that I've ever sat in a TSA line longer. GSP is a really small airport compared to so many others. There's only 2 wings to the airport, A or B, and there's like 3 restaurants. So 4 restaurants, 4 restaurants before you get to the main terminal. So small airport, not too hard, but you can definitely find your Chick-fil-A, Dunkin' Donuts, stuff like that. Then there is a nice reminder on here. So as we are headed into the new year, if you haven't gotten your ID updated as of May 7th, you do need to have a real ID to board a flight. And if I remember correctly, that is the ID that has a little star on it. So there's that. And then really for the most part, if you're early, there's a nice green space outside that if it's a nice day, which we have a lot of, you can go hang out outside, talking about parking, shuttles, so on. There are parking garages. It's pretty affordable, I think, to still park out here. And these are the options. There are some rental car agencies here. And a lot of people I know of that fly in, they rent their car earlier. Now, I will say this, there is a app that's like Airbnb, but for cars, called Turo. And I would highly suggest using it. I've used it, and it's an easy way to rent a pretty nice car. And you kind of skip the lines and the questions of the rental car agencies. So if you are coming here to the area, check out the Turo app, but at the same time, these are options. There are several nonstop flights. So if you are coming from any of these areas, just know you can get a nonstop flight. That's cool. And it's pretty easy to get here. They've done a lot and they are continuing to grow this airport. Now, I will say this. I have a fun connection to this airport. My husband's grandfather helped design the original airport. And so it's interesting to see it go through. You will see so much construction going on there in the area. And a lot of the airport is brand new, but it's an easy airport to fly into. All right. So let's talk a little bit more real estate here. And I think this is fun, and I'm interested to see this house hit the market again. Ta-da! $7.5 million house down in Fountain Inn. And this home has been listed multiple times over the course of the last couple of years. I have seen it listed multiple times over the course of the last couple of years. And to be completely honest with you, like it is, I am curious to see what it sells for and when it sells, because it's been listed and relisted. I don't think it's actually sold. But this article with the Post and Courier, which if you guys don't follow the Post and Courier, you should. It's a really good news outlet outside of just your local news channels. Like the local news channel here is WYFF4. And this is just good paper that, again, digital. We don't get the paper, but the fun thing about this, as I read through this article, it's not just about this house. I mean, this house is over 13,000 square feet and is just massive. But here's the point that I saw in this article is the Watch Greenville in 2025. Here's the deal. Greenville just hit another top 10 housing hotspots for 2025. Greenville, or just, I will say this, the upstate South Carolina keeps hitting these top 10s, these best places to move, best housing markets, best places to live, so on and so forth. And honestly, I can't say they're wrong. Like, I think they are right on. I'm completely biased, obviously, but I love it here. It's so cool. Like, there's stuff to do. It's easy to get around. There's not traffic compared to other places in the country. If at most it adds 10 to 15 minutes to my drive if I hit traffic. So I think that's not a bad thing. But again, this article is really good. So they even had an update on the area retail vacancies. Like, we have businesses coming in. We have new shops and boutiques and restaurants. And even as we are seeing some restaurants having to move out of their spaces, specifically, I'm talking about downtown Greenville, downtown off of Main Street, we have businesses that are having to move out because they can't afford the rent anymore. There are other businesses coming in that can afford the rent, and they're not the big box retailers or big box restaurants. We're still keeping that local flair, which I think is really cool. And so many times, like, that's what people move here for. They want local community. They don't want the big box things. So again, I thought this article was really cool. Also, they highlight Lake Kiwi. If you guys are interested in Lake Kiwi, by all means, would love to help. $1 million homes out there. It's beautiful. We have a video on it. You should check it out. So there's that. Now I saw over here, Brooke has a question for us here. Oh, Brooke, you are going to be so excited for the video that I am doing tomorrow, actually. New construction homes east of Donaldson Field Airport, south of Coniston Nature Preserve. Wondering if people have commented on hearing the planes flying in and out of the airport. So here's the fun thing about that. I just had a client this week that we were looking at homes over there in the area, and they're used to it. So I think it's one of those things, if you're used to airplanes, great. Now, I will say Donaldson has a lot of military aircraft that comes and goes. So it's a little bit more than the small prop engines and so on. But I would say that I don't hear too many people complain about it. People live over there. It is a growing area and it's easy to get around, but that's sneak peek, hint, hint. We are going out and doing a longer video that will be posted to the channel here in the next couple weeks about that area. So again, Brooke was asking about this area. That area is actually Malden, and I'm excited to show it to you. We're going to tour some resale homes. One new construction actually is on the list that I'm super excited to see, and we will show it to you. I'll ask if I come across anybody and see if maybe we could ask like the build agent if they've heard anything. But yeah, I think it's a great area. All right. Hello, my friend. Happy New Year. Hey, Eric. How's it going? Okay. All right. So let's keep going, rolling through here. All right. So let's talk about some development here in Greenville. I'm excited to see this. I've got to get some of my notifications go down. All right, here we go. So we talk about development downtown Greenville all the time. This, though, the first sentence right here stuck out to me. Here it is. Groundbreaking for a skyline changing project in Greenville. So expected in 2025. And this is not a small building. This one right here is located at 250 North Church Street. That's, I believe, if I'm correct, that is just down the road a little ways from the Bon Secours Center. So the arena where the concerts and everything are. So they are going to go up. And so as you come into Greenville, yes, there have been taller buildings and things, condo buildings for the most part, and then business on the bottom. This is what it's going to look like. And I think this is a project to watch. So it is part of the Gateway Project, and there are a lot of things going on with Gateway Project. When you drive downtown Greenville and you start driving some of the outskirts and whatnot, you'll see like land buildings that once are completely gone now. And it's just a fun project to see that, hey, the Greenville is growing. Greenville is keeping up with it. And I like to see these renderings, we'll call them, of what they have. So again, this is Facebook. I follow the Greenville City Facebook pages a lot just because a lot of times they post it here. And if I can, I'm trying to get there first, get you more information about what's happening around downtown, because so many people love downtown. You don't have to live downtown. You don't even have to live close to downtown. It could take you 30 to 45 minutes, but it is fun to get downtown and walk around. And there's a lot of great things to do and places to eat and so on. So we watch it. All right. So with that, you are continuing to plan your trip, okay? And so we've talked about the airport, we've talked about real estate, how we are landing in the top 10 lists, all of that. So now what? Well, where are you staying? I get this question a lot too. Well, Aubree, is there a better place to stay? So here's kind of a couple different things that I tell people. One, if you are coming to visit to see if you like the area, or if you are coming on a research trip, or if you are coming to buy the house and you don't live here already, go stay in a cool hotel downtown, or go find a cool Airbnb. I think a lot of people forget about Airbnbs, and there's a lot of short-term rentals that are Airbnb or VRBOs here in the Greenville area. So this article was posted back mid-November, and it's a full list of VRBOs, Airbnbs that are under $100 a night for the most of them. And they're not terribly far from downtown Greenville. And they're fun, they're hip, they're cool. And again, it'll give you a good taste of Greenville to be able to stay in something like this. So I just decided to throw this in here to say, okay, like these are options. A lot of people do stay in Airbnbs. Some of the more expensive ones at $181 a night. Again, if you can get close to downtown Greenville, walking distance, anything like that, this one, obviously, the more unique, the more expensive. We've talked about this before. And if you go back and watch the Lake Kiwi video, which thank you, Michael, he posted the link in the comments for us. Go watch the Lake Kiwi video because we show you one of these cool Airbnbs that you can stay on right by the water. again, stay in somewhere where you're not going to stay once you move here. So here, I'm going to drop this link specifically in the comments here, just so that you guys can go take a look at it later. Not right now, but we'll put it there for later. These are just, they're adorable. It gives you an option. And I do think that they are worth it to look at your options between hotels and Airbnb VRBOs, just because you're probably just not gonna stay in the cool spots like this. And I think it's more cost effective, honestly, than hotels. Again, just kind of gives you something new, different to see. All right. Do this. And John, come back with a question. Dog-centered events throughout the year in the Greenville upstate. Oh, thank you, Henry, for asking. Appreciate it. So I don't know. Actually, John, I've not looked into it. I'm not sure. I'm sure there are, and I know the right people to ask. I mean, our listing coordinator, Amy Frappier, is a part of a local organization called Lucky Pup, and they are a fostering nonprofit that, I mean, good golly, she showed me the cutest puppies today, and she would be the one for me to ask, and I can get back to you and let you know. All right. Oh, Brooke, you caught me here. Did they announce with the mystery manufacturer? I have not seen it yet, to be completely honest with you. And I could have just missed it with everything going on with the holidays and the new year and so on, but I have not seen it announced. But as soon as I find out, we'll be talking about it again. So, all right. So talked about that. And okay, we're going to talk a little bit, just again, you're here. So you've flown into GSP. We've talked about cars, rental cars, Turo, the app, which is a lot of fun, Airbnbs, VRBOs. Literally, you can do everything through apps to schedule your trip. And next, it's you're here. Well, now what? You've got to eat, right? So if you guys get to know me and the stream here, I do love some good food. So I did find this article. I thought it was fun. Places for lunch. I can tell you all the cool places for dinner. Okay, no problems. I will say though, there's a lot of places that are closed on Mondays around here because they're open Saturday, Sunday. So they close on Monday. But anyways, find lunch in the Greenville area for $10 or less. Yes, you can. Absolutely. This article was written back in August. And thank you, ladies, that wrote this for GVL today. So sandwiches, wraps. Cool thing here is, again, and I'm putting together an email right now that basically has content that whenever you are here in the area or you're new to the area or anything like that, where do you like tacos are my love language. I love it. So like it takes you to areas not just Greenville. So you could this website has just a nice cross section. I will say asada is probably some of the best tacos that you will ever have. And I know that strong feelings around that. So again, some fun places to eat. I can send you the link. I can also give you lots more suggestions. But I was like, hey, it's 1, the travel here, 2, where do you stay? And then 3, what do you eat? So we talk a lot about that and where we want to send people to eat lunch and breakfast and dinner and things to do, so on, all of it. Okay, next. And probably the final thing we're going to talk about tonight, and then I can circle up with any questions that you guys have here at the end of our evening. Have you guys seen the weather forecast? Yep. we're talking about this polar plunge that is happening. And this has been forecasted. Look, this article was written December 18th. And it's pretty, I mean, snow does happen here in the upstate, but right now it was still predicted to be pretty mild. We're talking, January 30 to 45 degrees outside, and it does warm up. And I will say this, and I didn't find any articles fast enough, but this is the big news around here, and this is what's happening, is we're expected to get record-breaking low temperatures here in the South. And that is not something that happens around here very often. And it is not something that we experience a lot because, golly, like I was walking around outside today and I was like, it's in the 40s, maybe in the low 50s, and it was cold. Like, and it wasn't the temperature that was cold, it was the wind. Anyways, next week, starting Wednesday, we will be going down into the teens and single digits overnight starting Wednesday. And they are already forecasting that we are going to see some sort of freezing rain, ice, or snow in the weeks afterwards. I am cautiously optimistic because it has been 2 years since we have seen snow here in the upstate. So long. And we just need one good snow and then it's gone. Okay. It'll be here for like 1 or 2 days. You'll get a good, lie-in, just bed rot, whatever you want to call it. And, but that's what's happening. And so our team is actually doing something kind of cool because we have people here that they move here from places like Arizona that have never, they don't deal with snow, or Florida, and they don't deal with snow. And they're here and like, what happens with freezing temperatures? Well, a quick story. We had this happen 2 years ago, right over Christmas, and temperatures went down and everything froze. I'm talking pipes under houses, water heaters on the outside of the house, hose bibs, or spigots, whatever you call it. And it was insane. I had past clients who were like, Aubree, my house is flooding, or Aubree, I don't have water because the water heater, like we don't have hot water and I've got kids. And so what we did last time, we actually have a heads up on it this time, is I'm telling you guys, if you're watching this and you're local, or if you live in the South, period, because you're all getting cold weather, make sure you have your spigot covers. So that's the hose bib on the outside of the house. There's usually 2 of them at least. And make sure you put the foam styrofoam thing. Now, if you're local and you're watching this and you want some, contact me. I've got some. I will bring them to you. The other thing too is put some insulation around the water heater. The pipes, not the heater, but just pipes that are open to the elements, or insulate where it is just a little bit. We had here in Greenville, it's not terribly uncommon to see the water heater on the outside of the house, and it freezes. So anyways, I'm looking forward to some snow, and I am going to enjoy the cooler weather. Though next week, right as all of that hits, I am going out of town and visiting Savannah on a work trip. So if you're from the Savannah area, hi, I'm going to be in your area. Okay, so before I hop off tonight, let's go over into the comments. If you have questions or anything about our area, please, by all means, go over into the questions. I am going to put back up, again, this is just something new I'm trying, the little QR code over in the corner here. Ta-da! And it is to just a quick spreadsheet to put your questions in, whatnot. If you don't get your question answered tonight, I will circle back to it and make sure that I have it primed and ready for the next show. All right, so let's go in here. John, let's see here. John, you say Willie. Yes, Willie Tacos is great. Love it. Oh, Henry is I have to meet Henry, John. That's so important. Hey, my friend, how's it going? All right, so compared to home, townhouses seem readily available and at a lower price point, but how easy are they to resale after 3 to 5 years? That is a heck of a question. So here's my thing about townhouses. Here in the upstate, there is a plethora of them. We have honestly oversaturated the market with townhomes. I have a townhome on the market right now. 120 Sly Way, Easley, South Carolina. Just a little plug right there. The resale on them is pretty rough. I had to have a conversation with my seller that, she bought her home 2 years ago, had a very unfortunate circumstance happen, and now she is moving back towards family and selling the townhome. Probably for not the first time in my career, but I haven't had to have this conversation too often that, hey, you're going to take a loss on your house for what you actually brought as a down payment. So what she paid for the townhome, say $240,000, give or take a little bit, and what she can sell it for is almost equal. So she's not made any money, and then she still has to pay taxes, realtor fees, closing costs for her, maybe even the buyer. And we may actually end up having to lower the price overall just to get it sold. And that's townhome. There are a lot of townhomes on the market. So I would say if you're not willing to hold on to the townhome for longer, it can be a really nice property to hold on to. If you're looking to be able to turn it in 3 to 5 years, my crystal ball is a little broken on that because I've seen townhomes after 3 to 5 years and they still haven't gained value because there's so much new construction inventory. A single family home, not a townhome, a single family home is going to sell better. So for you guys that are watching now, like this is the question. And this is just my feedback on that. And I think they're good investments if you want to if you want to rent out the property. I think they make great investment properties. So there's that. All right, let's talk about this. Safest areas around Greenville with 200 to 300 to look at. Okay, so let's do the tool. Let's talk about it. All right, so we're going to go back to the map. We've got a little bit of time here. I love going to the map, especially in the MLS, because this is so much different than what you see on Google. So if you are looking for, let's just look for active properties, single family, 200 to 300. And I'm going to assume 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Yes. And then from there, see if you see this. So 687 properties actively on the market in that price range that are a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So here we can go to the map. Now, all of those blue dots are active properties, which is so cool to see, honestly, after coming through the crazy COVID years and stuff like that, because you's not doing that much. So let's see this. Let's just pretend, and you said safest areas. There's pockets all over the place here that I would say there's areas everywhere that you don't, how do I say this nicely, y'all? I wouldn't want my sister going and driving by herself at 9:00 at night through that area. There are areas like that. Okay. At the same time, I think there are some very nice areas. Can I pull this out here on the map? Not really. I will say a lot of people are drawn to the Travelers Rest, Taylor's, and Greer areas, but there's spots in those areas as well. But if you can see, and I'm just going to try to narrow down our map a little bit here. So let's just, we'll look at the Taylor's Travelers Rest areas. And yes, there are areas that come talk to me. We'll have a more personalized discussion around that. But let's kind of go in here too, just to show you, dependent upon, there are homes. Golly, look at this. I mean, there are homes under 300,000, as long as you're willing to go into a little bit of a smaller home. And like, you're not going to find a 3,000 square foot house usually in this price range. There are some areas that I have to be careful when we're talking about like what's safe, what's not safe, and looking at police reports or the police websites, or going and talking to law enforcement is not a bad idea if that's something that you're very concerned about. I have had clients in the past that are very concerned about the safety of a certain neighborhood, and I don't think it's a bad thing to say, hey, like, tell me about this area. You can see the call volume. It's a public website. I'd have to ask my husband to give me the exact website for it. And you can see like what kind of crime is in the area. So a lot of the crime here in the area is just property theft. So like packages being stolen off of a front porch. I don't hear of a lot of violent crime here in the area, just overall, but there are areas that it is centralized more. So there's that. I hope that helped. Kind of looked at the map. I thought that was actually a good question, because it shows that if your price range is 200 to 300, there is inventory here. You can find a house, and it's stuff that's like been on the market a while too. This is the days on market all the way over here at the end. A bunch of properties got listed today, actually. And Thursdays are the normal day, by the way. Don't know if I've mentioned it before, but if you are looking for a house, Wednesday, Thursdays are prime days. And I do see more on Friday as well, but not as many. When homes go active on the market, just because weekends are our higher showing traffic. So there is that. All right, let's see here. And then, great question here as well. Have I seen a lot of termite issues on older homes in Greenville, and what issues do I see on a lot of older homes? So what I've seen, I actually don't see a lot of active termites on older homes here. I see, I've on those inspections, on those reports, I have seen that it's like prior termite damage, or old termite tubes present have scraped. And it's been treated before and there's no longer active termites. That's something we see every so often, but not terribly often. The issues I do see though on older homes, if they're on a crawl space, is higher moisture levels in a crawl space. If it's anything 20%, so they take a moisture reader, and if it's over 20%, then something's going on, especially if you're in the middle of winter and the moisture level's high. That's what I'm seeing a lot. Older homes, sometimes they don't have the moisture barrier down. It's not terribly common to have a crawl space encapsulated, but that is one of the larger complaints that I see on home inspections here for older homes. Also on older homes, sometimes the outlets aren't grounded. That's pretty normal as well. So it looks like a 3-prong. It's been changed out to take on the newer sockets, plugs, and it's just not grounded appropriately. So that needs to be done. I mean, anything else, issues isn't terrible. Those are the big ones that come up. Roofing things come up, or just needing to have upgrades completed. I think for the most part, when I've seen work, like we have a lot of older homes that have been flipped here in the area as well. Being able to see the difference between a good flip and a bad flip, or what I call a lipstick on a pig, is pretty important. So I walked a house today that was flipped and it was beautiful. It was done really well. You could tell. And the attention to detail is there. It's cool. Older house. We're going to see maybe I didn't see any rotten wood on the door frames. That's something we see on older homes. The windows had been replaced. So older windows aren't going to be uncommon. I mean, there's a whole list of things. The biggest thing, though, is whenever we're looking at houses, we're going to look for major items. Okay. So the roof, the plumbing, the electrical, foundation, anything with the crawl space. We're going to look at the systems of the house. If the house comes with appliances, do all of the appliances work? Is there a fireplace? Does it work? I had an instance here very recently, and this was totally on me, and I'm going to talk about my fail here, is we went and we saw the house, and it had a gas fireplace. Awesome, right? Until we found out we found out a week before closing, it was a propane gas fireplace, and there was no propane tank. So we figured it out. It was fine. And it's definitely like, those are the things that we're looking out for. So I hope that answered your question. I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent there. So with that, that's right. I get you. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. Well, hey, it's been great. We will not have a show next week, but in 2 weeks, I will be back. Same time, same place. Tell your friends, share the videos, tell people to come on. And I will be looking at our QR code up here. If you have questions, leave me a note. If you're looking for a house, or if you just have questions you want me to answer live here in the show, feel free to scan that and let me know. So anyways, y'all, you have a good start to your new year. I hope 2025 is full of so many great things. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Same time, same place. See you later. Bye.